when we started this conversation, the issue of unemployment. The unemployment rate in Rwanda is very high. They say that the last figures I have, it was about 23% among the young people, the youth. But when you look with the, let's say our natural eyes, you may see that it may be beyond the statistics of 23%. Yeah, because I see a lot of young people telling me they want something to do, they want to work, they are educated. But there are also those who are not educated, who have energy, they want to do manual labor and they cannot find it here. So that's one of the things that makes me feel
those are the
to
ones
sleep.
who are not in the statistics as
yes,
well. Because,
exactly, yes, yeah. So that makes me fail to sleep, because when I see a lot of young people, and not just even middle-aged people who are still able to work, but they cannot find work here. So you find that this is a challenge, that we want to solve the problem of unemployment completely, if possible, but by creating those avenues that, like I mentioned, different opportunities, green jobs, green transport, many things here, and different macroeconomic plans and so on, to make sure that we can have more employment opportunities. Because when you have more
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us once again at the Voices podcast. My name is Arafat, as usual. Today we are honored. We have a Senate in the house. Today we are joined by Senator Frank Habineza, who is also the president of the Green Party. Green Party is one of the key political parties in Rwanda. Today he joins us to have a simple conversation about him after the 2024 elections and after him being in the parliament, and also looking at his comeback in the parliament. Okay, thank you so much once again for taking your time to come on our podcast. We appreciate for sure. It's not something we take for granted. And as I had earlier mentioned that you were in the parliament, and then in 2024 you contested for presidency, and you didn't get to win as the president of the Republic of Rwanda. But of course, people thought that Frank Habineza now has gone back into his businesses and also running the party and doing the party work. But of recent, we saw you coming back in the parliament as the senator. And of course, many people don't understand how it happened. So would you help us to understand? How did you end up coming back into the parliament after people thought that, now you've gone into your businesses and doing other things?
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting me again to this show. We are so happy to be with you. It's true that after we lost the presidential elections last year, I got busy into the political party, the Democratic Green Party of Rwanda, where we had so many activities. We had meetings with our members, but also politically, since February this year, we've been having district congresses. We had 5 in the Northern Province, and then a Northern Province Congress in July. Then we also had congresses in the Eastern Provinces, the 7 districts, and then a Congress for the Poro Province in Rwamagana in September. And even right now, we've been going on with district congresses in the Western Province, which we finalized yesterday. So I would say that we have been very busy as a party, mobilizing members, building back all institutions, party institutions, both the youth wing and the women wing, and the party structures, all of them, 3 of them, at the district and the provincial level, which is a normal procedure for a political party after elections. You need to reorganize again, because otherwise, if you don't, people may lose morale and you don't see them again in the next election. So people say that when you, after the last election, you prepare for the another coming election. So immediately we started preparing for the next elections, which will be in 2029. Meanwhile, there were another remaining election. So we had both presidential and parliamentary elections last year. The parliamentary elections were 2. There was for the Chamber of Deputies and for the Senate. So which all happened for the Chamber of Deputies and the presidency, it happened the same day, and the Senate immediately after. So, but for the Senate, there are 26 senators in total. So I have to explain that because now you've asked me how they bounce back. So 12 are elected from provinces through electoral colleges. And then 2 come from the academic institutions. So the private institutions elect 1, and the public institutions elect 1. Then 4 come from political parties. So the political parties elected 2 last year. There were 2 ladies who were elected to the Senate last year. And then there were remaining 2 who would be elected this year. And then the President of the Republic nominates 8. So last year he nominated 4, and then he had to nominate 4 this year. So for me, this time, I came back through those who were elected by the political parties. So I was elected by the political parties forum. So the logic is that they don't all get, the 26 get elected or appointed at the same time, because the Senate has something called policy of continuity. So it never closes. The Chamber of Deputies, it closes. It is suspended after the 5-year term. But for the Senate, they never get suspended. So
they can continue working.
So it means that some go and others remain. So like now, for us who have come in this year, it means that when the other senators who came in last year, they will finish after 5 years, and the 2029, we will stay on for another year. So that's the principle of continuity of the Senate. So those who stay on, they stay on to wait for the others who come a year afterwards. Yeah. So that's the procedure of the Senate. So that's how I came back to the Senate. I was elected by the political parties.
What determines remaining in the Senate?
What determines, sir?
I mean, you say there are some who remains waiting for the others to come.
And no, it's the elections procedure, as I mentioned. So the 26, they don't get elected at the same time. For the MPs, in the Chamber of Deputies, they all elected at the same time, the 80. They come in at the same time and they all go at the same time. But for the senators, the 26, as I mentioned, there were 20 were elected or appointed last year, and they got sworn in. So there were 6 remaining. The 4 to be appointed by the president, and the 2 to come from the political parties. So we are the ones who have been elected this time in this September. So now the phase of elections is over.
How did you receive the election? I mean, what were the criteria for you to be elected? I mean, how did it happen?
Well, first of all, our party is a member of the Political Parties Forum. Actually, it's called the National Consultative Forum of Political Organizations in Rwanda. That is the official name, though we just like to call it the Political Parties Forum. But it's the National Consultative Forum of Political Organizations in Rwanda, NFPO. So, or we can just call it Forum. So, our party has been a member of the Forum since 2014. So we became a member 1 year after we got registered in 2013. So I've been in this forum for over 11 years now. So I would say that we had an opportunity the last time that we also had one of our members who became a senator through the political parties forum, Honorable Alex Mugisha. He was elected 5 years ago, so he finished his mandate actually this September. So basically, we had already entered Senate through the Political Parties Forum. So this time around, I also fronted my candidature because I thought my voice needed to be heard or to be represented, or we need to be represented somewhere.
Yes.
And the Parliament is one of the best institutions where politicians can be, because it's the house of the people, as we call it, people's house. So we are people's representatives. And in Canada, they call us intumwa za Rwanda. So there you have an opportunity to represent the population, but also to make laws and so on. Maybe I'll tell you about the responsibilities of the Senate, if you ask me. Or if you would like to.
Okay, I'm sorry for that, but as well you can speak about that.
Okay, so basically there is the Senate and the lower house, or the Chamber of Deputies. They have some common responsibilities, but also they have some separate responsibilities. So maybe I will start with the common ones.
Yes.
So the common responsibilities for, they're both all representing the people. That's one, being representative of the people. So they visit the population to hear their concerns and so on. 2, they all vote laws. That's a common responsibility. 3, they do government oversight. That's controlling government actions, budget, and so on, to see if things are working well, or money being misused, whatever. So those are the common responsibilities, but the difference is now. So the lower house votes on all the laws. So what we call organic laws, what we call ordinary laws, international treaties, and of course, and the Constitution. It's all for the lower house. So the upper house, which is the Senate, does not vote for all laws. It only votes on organic laws. So it doesn't go into the laws or the ordinary laws. Well, of course, it also has the responsibility, if the Constitution needs amendment, to look at the Constitution. However, the Senate also has a responsibility to look on international treaties which concern like international relations, foreign affairs, if it concerns like state of emergency, or so there are some specific issues that the Senate can deal on international treaties. So not all international treaties, but some treaties which like involve the state in finances, the state's military, the state's of course security, the foreign affairs, and so on. So the Senate gets involved into that. So that means that we don't have, in the Senate, we don't have all the laws. So what are the organic laws? Maybe for the purpose of education.
Sure.
Yeah. So organic laws, ordinary laws are any law you hear. It could be ordinary law about traffic law, law on stopping child abuse, or gender-based violence, on what? Those are different ordinary laws. Yeah. So organic laws, these are laws which are made and because they were mentioned in the Constitution. Let's say the Constitution mentions that the Republic of Rwanda shall have a national police. A specific law establishing national police will be enacted. So that's because that becomes what they call organic law. Because it was mentioned that to be enacted, when it is enacted, it starts from the lower house and then it goes to the Senate. So that's an organic law. The same for the military, for Bank of Rwanda, for what. So those things which are mentioned in the Constitution, those are the laws which we call organic laws.
Organic laws.
So another responsibility is government oversight. So the government oversight that where MPs can call for ministers to come and explain, or they can go and verify on the field about how the budget is being used, and how policies are being implemented, all laws are being implemented. So that's oversight here. So the Senate, Parliament, the lower house does everything, but the Senate does it, but also with a specific interest of following up on the implementation of the fundamental principles of the Constitution. They are mentioned in Article 10 of the Constitution. So, so the Senate has a special responsibility of following up on the implementation of the fundamental principles of the Constitution, and it does that through its work. Either whether the budget is following that, whether the policies are following that, whether everything being done in the country, whether it is respecting those fundamental principles. Yeah. Then, of course, the other issue is representation of the population, so it's a common responsibility. So senators have a more chance of going to the population. Even MPs have, but the senators in particular, they have 2 days in a month to visit the population. Anywhere they can go.
If you would tell someone out there who's watching this podcast your day-to-day work of a senator, let's say if you wake up early in the morning and go to the parliament, to your office, what is your work from day one? I mean, I think you've started already.
We have already started, yes.
You've started work already.
Yeah.
So what is it that are you doing or
so
whenever you go there?
The parliament in general has what they call parliamentary standing committees. But in general, we call them comissio. I'm a comissio. So every member of parliament, there was a chamber, in the Chamber of Deputies or in the Senate, you must belong to a committee, except for the top leaders, the speakers and the deputy speakers. So right now, I'm in a committee of economy and finance. Previously, when I was in the lower house or the Chamber of Deputies, I was in the Committee of Social Affairs. Now, the Committee of Economy and Finance, where I am, it has issues concerning the national economy, national budget, finances, anything to do with the economy. And also, anything to do with mining, with forestry, with the environment, natural resources, water, and so on. So it's a big commission which has many responsibilities that concern the population. So like we have committee meetings every morning from 9 to 12. And then in the afternoons, not every afternoon, but we also get plenary sessions where all senators meet in the afternoons to deliberate on some either laws or policies or something coming. So, but the Senate, I forgot to mention, it also has another special responsibility which the lower house does not have, is to approve appointments of high-ranking government officials. Like when the cabinet appoints people to become ambassadors or to head the parastatals like URSSB or whatever, Bank of Rwanda, whatever. So those people are appointed, the Senate has that duty to come and approve that. They call them, scrutinize their dossiers, interview them, and so on, and then approve that in through a plenary session sittings. So that's another special mandate the Senate has. Yeah, so it is done in between. Every committee can do that when the people assent if they concern that commission.
So you talked about now that you are in the committee of
Economy
and finances. Someone would wonder that what is it that now are you dealing on in that committee? Because looking at the economy and finances, thank you so much for speaking about that. The country is facing a lot of challenges in economy and finances because still inflation is still ongoing. We can't deny that. And prices of goods and services, everything has really skyrocketed. And we can't deny that there is a lot we are waiting for you to do for us, you know, because we know you in that committee you're doing a lot of work. It's where everything comes from that deals with economy and finance. So I'm wondering if you can share with us a bit of what is ongoing right now in that committee, or what is it are you planning or working on right now that concerns the country?
So I would say that my committee, we had a presentation to the whole Senate, the plenary session on last week on Thursday, where we analyzed the Auditor General's report. You know, the Auditor General audits all the state finances, and then he sends the report to the Parliament. So the law obliges both the lower house, the Chamber of Deputies, and the Senate to scrutinize that report. So it was done by the Chamber of Deputies through the Public Accounts Committee, but when it comes to the Senate, it is done by the Economic Committee. So we analyzed the report and we presented it to Parliament, to the plenary on Thursday. So that was a big work going on. So that was on Thursday. So tomorrow we'll also start on new things, and we'll get informed as they come in. But also, as I mentioned, that we have duty, every senator, so like next week, all senators will have 2 days to go to districts, and I plan to go to the southern province where I'm going to visit what we call industrial parks. So to visit industrial parks to see if they are delivering what they're supposed to deliver to the communication, to the population, if they have what is required, say infrastructure, and so on, what skills are they, how people are getting those skills and so on. So because that's part of the duty of the Economic Commission. So other senators will also be going in different districts and in different provinces.
If I may ask you, what keeps you up every day that you want to resolve in the country? Having got the opportunity now to come back in the Parliament, is there something that keeps whipping in your head that you want really to resolve? Exactly.
And I'm also happy that I've gone to this Commission of Economy, because one of my main preoccupation is to see that the people of Rwanda can get enough economy into their pockets, some money in their pockets to have the economic well-being of the Rwandan people being uplifted. People talk about middle income state, and I would like that to come earlier if possible. I want to see people uplifted from poverty, to see every Rwandan having enough food on their table, and good food, actually, what we call food safety, safe food, and people to be able to buy food, people to be able to get their needs, and people to, especially the young people, to get employment opportunities. So this is something. When I wake up and I move around my village where I stay in Chimironko, I see young people standing on roadsides waiting to get for any job. Yeah, so you find like 20, 30, they're all ready to work, but they don't find a job, work somewhere. They wait for someone to call them to go either for building or for whatever. So they call it kundeje. That's the name they use here. So I would say that this makes my heart sink. I would feel that that we should have an economy, a strong economy, whereby at least everyone can find something to do. And also, I've been talking about the minimum wage that I know it's been a big debate going on, and we worked on it even in the last Parliament. And the bill is in the Prime Minister's office. But I would like to see that this minimum wage is really adopted, so that people who work, they get paid for their labor. Because you find problems of underemployment in Rwanda, that someone works, but you get paid something which is below your expectations, that cannot help you to pay your bills, you cannot pay your rent, you cannot buy food, and you are working every day, but you can't do any savings, and you're just working for food, but nothing more. So these are things that concern me so much.
So, Senator Frank, what is it that you think is hindering that? I mean, because for you are in the system, people can believe that you have everything on your fingertips, and it's just a matter of clicking here and there and there. That's what people might think. But now, because we are speaking now to someone out there who doesn't know exactly what it takes, because if someone hears you saying that you feel bad when you see these young people on the streets, you know, carrying whatever they are carrying, looking for the job, and they call it ngobari kundeji. I mean, because they are in numbers and all waiting for the savior to come and give them a job. But if you are given an opportunity now to say that this is the only way to solve the problem, and they give you a go-ahead, full authority, that do it, what is it would you do?
I would say that first of all is to create the employment opportunities, because I think that's the responsibility of the government, by ensuring that, of course, the government we have is doing a lot. It has done a lot. It has a policy of making more jobs for the people and so on. But I would do more if I'm able. Of course, we have to establish more industries, and because of factories, those are things that can help to give more jobs. But also have a policy within my party which I would think we could use.
Which one is that? Can you talk more about it?
Yeah, we have a policy whereby we mentioned it in the campaigns, that we would establish what we call, first of all, training centers at every sector level. And then we do what we call agro-processing industries in every sector, depending on what is produced in that village. So if, let's say, you go to Rwanda, where they have a lot of banana plantations, you put up an agro-processing industry either in this Chigabiro sector for processing bananas. If you go to Muhazi sector, which is near the Lake Muhazi, you put up a small factory there, agro-processing factory, which will help them to process fish. Like that, if you go where they grow sugar canes, do something which can help them to process sugar cane into either sugar, whatever, processed sugar. Let me call it that. Yeah, we used to call it carrot. I don't know how we call it so basically, I would say that. So this is the model we think, that first we have a training institution in every village, which keeps people to do what they need in their area. Then you make a small industry there, a small factory there, which would help them to process what they have. So that way, people who are educated, trained, the young people, they are able to get employment immediately into something which they know and which also is readily available. So this would help even to curb rural urban migration, because people come from villages to Kigali thinking they're going to find jobs here, but they don't find them. But if they find something to do there, then people will say, why should I go to Kigali if I can find job here in my village? So this is something that we'll continue talking about in the coming days.
So that's really a good model. For me, I think it would be really nice to have. But are you finding challenges to pass that?
As you know, I did not win the elections, the presidential elections.
No.
So that it would have been immediately implemented if I had won the presidential elections. No. But I still have a chance now that I'm on the Senate. I represent all the people of Rwanda. I'll keep giving my views in the Senate, and I have colleagues from my party who are in the lower house, in the Chamber of Deputies. They also continue giving views. You know, in Rwanda, there is something special which is different from East African countries, that if you become elected, you don't go there to talk about your party in the parliament. You talk about the people of Rwanda. So even though we represent parties somehow, somewhere, but we represent the people of Rwanda in general. So you will not hear saying, Green Party is saying this. You will say Frank Habineza will be saying this. But I'll be speaking on behalf of people of Rwanda. Those who elected me and those who did not elect me, I all represent them.
Frank, you talked about going.
But anyway, in this time I was elected by all the political parties, which is a big thing. All the political parties voted for me with consensus. That was great.
That was really wonderful. That was really good.
Yeah.
You talked about that this coming week you're going to be visiting Southern Province.
Yeah, sure.
And what is it that is on your agenda that you're going to be looking at?
I've mentioned to you the industrial parks.
You visited the
They call
industrial
them
parks.
Uduchiriro, whatever, in Rwanda, industrial parks. So they are in every district here where they have carpentry, they have masonry, they have welding, they have many things happening there. So these things were established by the state to help people do something. So I have to verify if they are achieving their goals.
Doctor, some people have said that since you've come back in the parliament, how are you planning to balance the party work and serving the people of Rwanda? Because you've just mentioned it, that today when you are back in the parliament as a Senate, and you're not going to work as just a Green Party president, you're going to be serving people of Rwanda. How are you going to judge the two, whereby you still represent people outside as a Green Party president, but still as someone who is serving the people of Rwanda, because that's now what is important now on your agenda? How are you going to balance the two?
This is not something new. We have done this before when I was in the Chamber of Deputies for almost 6 years, 2018 to 2024. I was still president of the party, and I was a member of parliament, and I was able to balance the two. So it is the same procedure, ensuring that when you are, I mean, it's the issue is small, is simple, is that we have one country. It's one country, one Rwanda, which we all serve. We all want our country to develop. We all want our country to be magnificent. Let me say, I want my country to be magnificent. Maybe there are some, we may not share the same whatever, but I think this would be everyone's view for Rwanda, that you wish that your country, like me, I have had a chance to live in other countries. So I would say that why can't we be better than why can't we reach? So what can we do to get to this other level? They talk about middle income. What can we do to get to this middle income condition, to whatever level? They've mentioned, is it 2030 or 2040? Now we have vision 2050, So can we, so when you are talking about the people of Rwanda, it's a national interest. So national interest is part of party interest. Our party manifesto is part of the national interest. It's not something Frank interest. This is Rwanda's interest. So when I speak something to do, let's say, with the economy from my manifesto, it is not my personal thing. It's a Rwandan thing, because it's to benefit the people of Rwanda. So the balance is, we have to strike the balance, and it's as simple as that, is putting the country first, putting Rwanda forward, and ensuring that Rwanda is magnificent, is shining. When Rwanda shines, we shine.
Sure, 100%. So looking back at the 2024 presidential election, what lessons have you learned that maybe you think are going to guide you, either in these roles that you've just got, or maybe coming in the future, where I don't know whether you anticipate also to come back on the presidential campaign, I don't know. But I'm wondering, are there some lessons you've learned from the previous elections that so far you can capitalize on that and maybe be a different Frank Habineza?
We learned some lessons, but first we appreciate that these elections were better organized, and the district authorities, they were more accommodative this time, and the state security organs, especially the police, they are very, very nice. They were able to ensure our security in collaboration with other security organs. So this we appreciate. So I pray that the good thing that happened 2024 with the security and the district continues in the next elections. So we should not go backwards, we should just move forward. Two, I would say that we have other lessons we learned, that we went into the elections, but we had challenges of, like our party, we have structures of women, of youth, and party at the district level, provincial level, and the national level. But we do not have structures at the sector level and village level. So we think that this was a challenge, that when it came time of sending party observers or party agents to the polling stations or polling centers.
On the village and sector level?
Yeah, we didn't have the structures. So we had challenges to have polling agents of the party to go and be at the polling stations. Yeah. So we thought that this was a weakness that we saw we have to solve in the coming elections at our party. Right now, I'm proud to say that we have already right now established party structure at sector level in 3 districts so far. Now, yeah, in the Western Province. So we have already started the process now in the Western Province, yeah, where we've been going. So we have the district structures and also in every sector we have established here, wherever possible. So we think next year we're going to continue that process, going at the sector level, and inshallah, we'll go to the cell and village level. So that is the way when you come to election, when you can stand strong and tall, that you know that you have people everywhere in every village that will go and be there at the polling stations.
So leaving alone...
Because our counterpart, the counterpart had that, and we did not have that.
Oh, you did not have that?
We didn't have that.
You learned it when you reached the...
No, we wanted to... in the last elections, we were able to have party agents, they call them Indonesia, whatever, but it costs a lot of money. So this time it was difficult to have money for that. But I thought that it would be cost effective. If you have the people there, you don't need to pay them anything because they will just walk it there. Yeah. So that's what we are looking at here. And it's a lesson learned. And you asked me about lessons. That's a lesson we have learned that we'll improve on that in the next elections.
But Doctor, to be honest, I want us to talk about the things that you see, because the mirror you look into when you look at this country is not the mirror everyone looks into. You have your own mirror that you really see. That's why you keep going. That's why you keep contesting for presidents, I think. Yeah. Because you have a different mirror that you use to see this country. Yeah. And there is somewhere you want to see it going. Perhaps that you don't see it going. Yeah. So someone like me who would love, or someone else out there who would want to know why you keep contesting for presidents. What are those things that you see that, sincerely speaking, these are things that perhaps are lagging the country behind, or these are things that, if implemented by you, in case if you happen to become president, that these are things you're going to really focus on and do something different from what we are seeing right now going on with the government?
Well, we have quite a lot. If you had a chance, we actually have a manifesto in English, if you wish, but it's also on our website, both in Kenyan and in English. And but I'll mention a few. I've mentioned one already.
But why I ask you this, a friend of mine who asked me that, who is your next guest? I said, it's Frank Habineza. This is a question from a friend of mine. Okay. He was asking me like, please, can you ask this question? I am seeing FPL is doing a great job. They're doing everything, perfect. But someone keeps on contesting for presidents. But I don't understand. Is it just a matter of just becoming a president, or it's something different that we can't see ourselves? So that's why I'm asking you that
I've just mentioned when we started this conversation, the issue of unemployment. The unemployment rate in Rwanda is very high. They say that the last figures I have, it was about 23% among the young people, the youth. But when you look with the, let's say our natural eyes, you may see that it may be beyond the statistics of 23%. Yeah, because I see a lot of young people telling me they want something to do, they want to work, they are educated, but there are also those who are not educated, who have energy, they want to do manual labor and they cannot find it here. So that's that makes me feel
those are the ones who are not in the statistics as well.
Yes, exactly. Yes, yeah. So that makes me fail to sleep, because when I see a lot of young people, and not just even middle-aged people who are still able to work, but they cannot find work here. So you find that this is a challenge, that we want to solve the problem of unemployment completely, if possible, but by creating those avenues that, like I mentioned, different opportunities, green jobs, green transport, many things here, and different macroeconomic plans and so on, to make sure that we can have more employment opportunities. Because when we have more employment, it's meaning uplifting our economy. Because when people are not employed, that means they have to eat, and they will become dependent on those who are working. So basically, even you who are working, you have to spend your money to those who are not working. I mean, you cannot develop yourself as well.
Definitely.
Because you will be pulled down. But if we're all working, doing something, then you don't have to give your money to someone else. So basically, that's how you can develop. So that's one of the main things. So these are not my figures. There are figures there. You find them at the National Bureau of Statistics. But even the Bank of Rwanda has some figures. So it's a challenge in the country. So we need more industries in Rwanda. And we call them green industries because why we talk about green industries, we don't want industries to come to pollute. We want industries to have improved way of putting out that smoke, which is, there's a modern way of doing that here. So there are laws in place, but some people are not respecting them. So we have to enforce what we call green industries, green transport. Of course, that's like we need to have more public buses here in the city, and I liked the idea of having electric buses in Kigali, but also not only in Kigali, could be in all the main towns. And the train, because the issue of the train is delayed because of whatever the systems, the plans from Tanzania and so on, but that has to be expedited. Also, as we wait for the train, we want to have what we call the tram system. Tram systems, those are kind of small trains which have what they call a monorail. They go around in the cities and so on, and they can ease the issues of traffic jam and so on. Yeah. But then we need to reduce the number of cars. There's so many cars going to work in the morning and causing a little trouble. So if we have the monorail, those trams, and we have the buses, then we can solve the problems of pollution. Now I'm going to environment, yeah. So actually, if I talk about environment, we have other challenges. Like let's say that the issues of waste management. We have what we call liquid waste, what we call the organic waste, many waste. Like let's say that this, which comes from our homes, they dump it in Induba, dump site. So this is something that is very bad. We need to have what we call proper way of managing this waste through landfills, and even this waste can be even actually processed and get money from that. We can get gas, either methane gas or even cooking gas is possible, LPG, and even electricity. So this money actually, but it's being wasted there, and actually it causes environmental damage to our population because the water comes, because the third water goes into the Leo water, into the swamps, and we end up drinking that. So we have issues of mining. You find people, there are poor methods of mining in Rwanda. The people, they just dig up here, there. People die into the mines, and the waste, they throw it into the river Nyabarongo. It becomes a wasting ground for the mining waste and so on. So these issues have to be dealt with. People have to get proper licenses for doing the proper mining, and people should not be dying in the mining field. There should be more protection about that. So we have issues of desertification or long droughts in the eastern province. For many years, I've been in this country now, almost over 20 years now, and I've seen people in the eastern province, every year they have a challenge of water. Every year they have a challenge of food. Every year. It never gets done completely. So we have to find permanent solutions. We have to deal with issues of climate change. Seriously, if it is talking about tree planting, how are we going to do that? We'll have a model about that. If it's about water, what can we do to have enough water? Because we do have water facility. I mean, like rivers, Akajala is passing there, some lakes there, but still people lack water. I'm talking about clean water. And so these are issues. So I'm talking about water. And in one of my manifesto, we have a policy that we're going to provide clean water to people. At least we mentioned 5 jerrycans a day for free. So this is something, I mean, we want to put up a water right,
really?
A right to water.
Really?
Yeah, this is in our manifesto, yeah. So these are some of the things that when you hear me campaigning, maybe people sometimes do not pay attention, but we have very good ideas, but also talking about issues of social justice, people to have their rights respected, human rights, and also issues of law to be respected, issues of if you have committed a crime, how you processed, how long should you stay in the prison or whatever, because we have cases that people end up there in prisons for more than a year, 2 years, when they have not seen a judge, and at the end of it, they are found innocent, and they have lost their jobs, they cannot get back to their job, and so we need to have a justice compensation fund which can compensate people who are found innocent. Even talking about transit centers, I think you have heard about us talking about them. So we have a program on that to see that So I'm not going to go into that because I've talked about it before. But we also have a program to make it something good, or to stop it completely if we cannot reform. And so that's in the social justice. So it's a big program. When we talk about democracy, we know that Rwanda is a developing democracy. We're not yet where we want to be. We want more freedoms of expression, of the media, of all the civil liberties to be respected. There are things which the government have done, which we appreciate, but we need to have more of that. And I believe that this is not going to be a sporadic something, or it is a process. But we need to start to, and that's why we stand in elections anyway, to build that background, that foundation, where we want to be the next 50 years. So it's much more. I can't go into all the details now, but you believe me that when we say these things, we are very serious. We want the best for the Rwandan people.
So many young people see you as, the only standing opposition leader. Because mostly in the elections, people are they're banking on Green Party as an opposition party that is
the alternative.
The alternative to the leading party. And so many young people want to be part of the government also. They want to, maybe source from you and to join politics. But many are scared of the politics. They say, politics is a game of, hardened people. Hard people or something like that. What would you tell a young person there who is envisioning to be in the position that you are in now, or wants to be a politician as well, but scared of, the difficulties in that game?
That's what I mentioned, that you want to have more of the freedoms, political freedoms, the civil liberties, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of political assembly. Freedom of political assembly means that people should have the right to choose any party they wish. These are actually enshrined in international covenants of civil and political rights. And
is it illegal now?
It's illegal documents, yeah, which Rwanda signed.
It's illegal?
No.
It's illegal. It's acceptable. Is it acceptable to join any party?
It's acceptable,
yes.
But people, you say they fear. Because there are some things that make them fear. So
some
that's
people
why
fear to be politicians. Say, okay.
Because they have the fear of something they have seen. So what we are encouraging them, that what we wish is that the state to, because the state has signed up on these international covenants of civil and political rights, and of the social, even the social rights and so on, but also the International Declaration of Human Rights, which was the first one, the mother of everything. So we say that the Rwanda is committed to this. So our role is to ensure that Rwanda respects these things which we have signed and ratified. And that's one. So once that is going on well, people will stop fearing, because there's nothing wrong with being a politician. It's a noble thing. If you have ideas and you want to express them, you should express them rightly, but also legally, lawfully. So it's a political party is a channel, or is a forum, is a means of where people can express their ideas and also get elected into political government office. Yeah. So because why we stand for elections, because we know that these ideas we have sometimes difficult to make them hard if you are not in a government office. So if you are in the office of a senator, or a member of parliament, or a minister, or mayor, you have an opportunity to express those opinions here. Sure. So this is why we stand for elections here, because otherwise, if you don't stand for, if like I was lucky to be president, to be elected as a president, more of my ideas would be implemented. So, but when you're not, the one who wins gets his ideas implemented. But the good thing with Rwanda also is that even if it's like that, we don't have a system of winner takes it all in Rwanda, because still the constitution ensures the process of power sharing. And it's also in the fundamental principles of the constitution, which the Senate is in charge of, ensuring that the government is respecting the principle of power sharing. So in Rwanda, the party which wins the presidency does not have the right to chair the parliament, the lower house. the Chamber of Deputies. So the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies must come from another party. Even now, it comes from the Liberal Party. And but the Constitution also obliges the President to not have more than 50% ministers from his party. He has to choose other ministers from other parties and independents. Yeah. So these are things that are different from other countries that Rwanda has provided to ensure that even power sharing is respected, because with power sharing, it helps to reduce conflicts. So those as in charge of the Senate is in charge of monitoring that. Back to what you are saying. So younger people, they are free to come to join, but they should come knowing that we are a legal party, whereby we do things, we try our best to do things legally, rightly, and lawfully. And if you want to do things in the right place, in the right way, you are welcome to join us, and you have a platform. Yes.
Frank, you're already advertising for Green Party.
I'm not advertising. Actually, say all the political parties, they are supposed to do that. Okay. But since you asked about me, then I'm saying that we do that, but we have more details on our website. They can find it there, our manifesto, our objectives, and many things that the Constitution and so on.
How old is your party now?
Our party was started in 2009, in August. So this is 2025. So we would say we are almost coming to 20 years.
Okay, you're
but we were registered in 2013. So as a legal party, it's as a legal party from 2013, still in August. So would be that there's 12 years. 12 years. Yeah, but as a starting, it is 12 plus 4, that is 16 years.
Okay, now let's say your party is 16 years old.
Sorry?
It's 16 years old now. So what is it that you feel proud of since the party started up to now? Is there some laws, is there some, new things that have been implemented by the current government into the system or into Rwanda that generated or came from your Green Party? Or are there some ideas that you pioneered
many
that now, ideas. As we speak, you can stand firm and say, this was our idea, and we are 100% sure that this was an idea implemented from a Green Party? Which are those that
these things we talked about them so much when we were in the campaign trail. We talked about them all the time.
You talked about them?
Yes, I'm sorry that you didn't come to our campaign trail. You would have had, anyway, but I could say a few.
A few that you think are key to speak about.
Yeah, so we campaigned in 2017. Let's say first thing that I promised the people of Rwanda that if I was elected, I would, like on the issue of education, because we talked about improving the quality of education in phases. So first was about teachers, second was about the students' welfare, and the third was about curriculum. So on the students' welfare, we said that it's difficult to teach people when they are hungry, they are empty stomachs.
Very hard to teach a hungry student.
Yeah. Me, where I went to school too, in primary school, we had breakfast. We used to have porridge. And if you had some money, you could buy pancakes. But if you don't, you could get some sweet potato from home, and you drink it with that hot porridge. It would still be good to go. So, and you could have lunch at the school, which used to be cassava with beans or whatever, and it was nice food. Yeah. So, so in Rwanda, kids had nothing to eat, and they could come from homes with empty stomach and stay in school, and they would have to be in school up to around 3 p.m. So teachers talking, but no one is listening. So I said, when I become president, I will ensure that children of Rwanda have a hot meal at school, coupled with some things to drink and at least fruits and some meat also.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and when we didn't win, but we kept that in our manifesto for Parliament. And when we entered Parliament, we continued advocacy, both in public and in private, and the government accepted our idea. Now you have what they call the school feeding program, whereby all Rwandan children, whether private or public, they have a meal at school. So this came from one of our signature campaign ideas. Two, we talked about teachers. Teachers, I said that if you want to have the quality education, ensure that the one that's studying has now been taken care of, but the one who's giving the knowledge also was paid very poorly. And they say they don't have the morale or the motivation to teach, because they also have problems. They have children, they have bills to pay, and so on. So we said their salaries should be increased by 100%. It was not 100%, but the government later accepted and increased it to 66% for primary teachers and 44% for secondary school teachers. Now I'm remaining for the university lecturers. But still, I mean, the economy is evolving, and so we still need that to be.
Hopeful that it will happen.
There will be more increase. So there was a plan of increasing it 10% every year, but it will come. So so that is another big achievement. And we didn't talk much about French and so on. So French is there now as a language. So we wanted it to come back as we wanted to be a bilingual system whereby we teach both English and French at the same time. That has not yet come, but it will come. I believe it will come in the right time. So if I leave the education sector, let me go to the health sector. You know, we talked about issues of having a health post sometime back, even before we went into elections. We called them posted sat or something that I don't remember, but was having a health center at a cell level or a village level. So that was adopted. Now we have those health posts now.
We have post centers.
Yes. Now, that came from one of our ideas we gave a long time ago. But moving forward, we talked about issues of medical insurance. It was there, but people could pay and wait for 1 month to be treated. We said, now, if you vote for us, when you pay, you get treatment the same day. It looks like a radical something, yeah? Yeah, but it happened. That the law came in Parliament in my committee where I was in social affairs because we were in charge of the medical sector and we worked on it and even ensured that people can pay even installments. So now people, when you have mutuelle de santé, you pay, you are sick, you pay and you get treatment immediately. So you will not die. People used to die. So I have issues to do with the salaries for the nurses and the doctors and so on. It's ongoing. But now, in our new manifesto, we have put up that we want people who have health insurance, the community-based health insurance, mutuelle de santé, now to have access to medicine in pharmacies. So this is our
private pharmacies.
Yes, that's our new campaign.
Not just in public pharmacies, but also
private pharmacies. Okay. Public pharmacies actually they are not there. There are no public pharmacies.
But in each hospital they have pharmacies.
Actually, it's not pharmacy. Small medicine. They give you small medicine. The hospitals are not supposed to sell medicine. I think by law, it will be conflict of interest. So pharmacies are always outside here. But they give some essential medicine to hospitals.
So by law, it's not allowed for a public hospital to have a pharmacy.
Even the private hospitals.
I mean, public hospital. It's not allowed to have.
Any hospital is not allowed to have like a pharmacy, but it can have what they call essential medicine, like this for fever, for what, small things like that, or what they need for testing and so on. But normally they will give you a written document to go buy medicine elsewhere. Then when you have insurance, you buy that medicine from a pharmacy outside, and the government will pay part of the bill. So we want people with mutuelle de santé to also have a capacity to buy. So this I have already talked to the Minister of Finance about it. Yeah, and it's work in progress. It will come also to pass. So let me go to another signature campaign. It was on issue of land. So we had two issues with land. Well, land ownership and land taxation. Those are two different laws. So one was in the law of local government authorities, and the other one was the land law. So let me start with the taxation. Taxation, the previous parliament had increased taxation from 80 francs to 300 francs per square meter. So when we were in the campaigns, we said we are going to reverse, actually to scrap the whole tax thing, because we did not even believe in paying this tax, because we said the land is even not ours. We are renting the land from the state. Imagine you are renting a house and you're told to pay the tax for the house which you are renting. So we said we are going to take it completely out here. So we didn't win for the presidency. But when we went for parliament, we said, okay, we reduce the tax. So what I did when I went to parliament, I made what they call a private member's bill, because a member of parliament is allowed to make a law. So I proposed to reduce this tax from 300 francs to 100 francs. So I presented my bill to the Bureau of the Parliament, that's the Speaker's office, and they analyzed it and they told me that, okay, the bill is good, but you have to make another one that will ensure that the government does not lose the money it had budgeted for. Because there's a provision in the Constitution that if you make a law that makes government lose money, you should ensure that the government does not lose that money. So it was a challenge for me that I could propose where government would get money from, because it was billions of money that the government was going to lose from the taxes. But anyway, I said this is the job of the Minister of Finance. So we continue advocacy and and also putting this into the media. igihe.com, they wrote about it. Voice of America, Rwanda Service, they talked about it. So we talked about it outside. And finally, President put a hold on the tax. There was too much concern. Then finally, after President put a hold on the tax, the Minister of Finance came with a new bill, which reversed it from 300 to 80 francs. So this was our victory.
Wow.
Victory of Rwandans, but victory also for good party. 2, on the land law. People, ownership of land law was leasehold, renting. So you rent land for 20 years in the city and was it 49 years in the villages, in the rural areas. So we say that, first of all, we do not believe on the issue of renting the land because this land was given to us by our forefathers. So we say that this should actually be total ownership, no leasehold. It should be freehold for everybody. It was a tough discussion. So this debate continued from presidential elections 2017 to 2018, and in Parliament. Finally, the government brought a new bill, which was voted, and whereby government allowed to increase the ownership leasehold from 20 years to 99 years renewable. This was a big victory.
That was a big victory.
And 2, also freehold is also allowed. Now people no longer think about freehold because they have 99 years renewable.
So freehold is also available.
Is available upon request.
Upon request.
So like if you.
What are the criteria? Would you be knowing?
The law specifies that if you like ask the government to do something on your land and you did it, you show them, then they give you the freehold. If you say you want to build a house here and you build a house and you show them that this is what I was supposed to do, you ask for freehold, they give it to you. So when you have freehold, you don't pay tax. So that's the beauty.
Are there people who have freehold now?
They have. Of course, those who have, they have it. Because it is provided for by the law.
Provided by the law. As we speak right now, I can get my plot of land, my land title, and go and request for freehold?
You first make a plan. You have to check the law. Because it says that you have to ensure that what you said you are going to do on the land, you have done it, then you'll be given the freehold title if you ask for it.
But how many people don't?
I don't have the specification of the law.
Okay.
So you have to check the law properly. So let's not speculate because there's a specific law that talks about it. But what I'm trying to say is that it's allowed.
Okay.
And, but it's not so much vied for because you have 99 years renewal on the leasehold. Yeah. So anyway, but these are part of our victories. If you want more, I'm here to tell you.
No. I mean, unless if you have something you think that really is part of what you did that is important to speak out, but...
Yes, we talked about the soldiers, our policemen, to increase their salaries, and I thank the President of the Republic that he has done that, even though still, as Frank, I still want more for them. I mean, I want them magnificent for all the runners. But at least the concern was dealt with. Their salaries were increased. We talked about accommodation for soldiers, for policemen. It's worked on, work in progress, not where I want exactly, but at least something's going on. We talked about satellite. That was in 2017. I mentioned in Nyabihu that we need to have security being not to be protected only by men, but also by technology, using satellites and so on. So Rwanda put up satellites in the sky. I think, we have 7 satellites now there. And we have technology now being used in our security services. And you saw recently when Congo attacked us, how we used that drone system, drone system, something which captured all those bombs and so on from Congo. So basically, this is something I appreciate because it is what we mentioned some 7-8 years ago. So, and I also have skills in security studies, so I feel happy with that when some of small ideas I have like that can be put into. This is something good about the politics, that when you have an idea, you feel so happy that when your idea gets implemented. Long time ago, I was a journalist. So what made me so love the job of journalism at the time was not that we could get money, because we used to get 5,000 francs per article we wrote. Where I was correspondent for the 2 newspapers. And so it was not big money. But when you could write a story and you see the byline, your name there, by Frank Habineza, that was the joy of journalism. So now the joy of a politician is to give an idea and to see this idea becomes a policy or becomes a law.
I understand.
So this is why I encourage all the young people who have ideas to join politics, because that's the only place whereby your ideas can make a meaning, can become meaningful to the whole population.
Really, that's really good. So finally, when your term is ending, when is it ending? You've started the term, but how long is it going to go?
5 years.
5 years. So after 5 years, what legacy would you love to leave in Rwanda? I mean, in this role, I think it's your first time to become a senator.
Yeah, sure.
So what legacy do you want to leave behind in this position?
All those things I've mentioned. I don't want to make anything less.
Okay, okay.
Everything is so important. I would wish that 90% of what I've mentioned is implemented. I would be happy.
Is there something that you believe that you've left behind that we've not talked about that you would want to speak about as we end our conversation of today?
Well, I would want to emphasize issues of the fundamental principles of the Constitution. I think most people do not know this, but this is like the backbone of our country. It's in Article 10 of the Constitutions. These fundamental principles, they mention that we Rwandans, we commit ourselves to stop the genocide ideology, to ensure that we don't have another genocide, to ensure that we have unity among Rwandans, to ensure that there is respect of women, inclusivity of women in all political decisions. That's why there is 30% there to make sure that women are involved in all the political decisions and all elective positions. The issue of power sharing, to ensure that there is power sharing, inclusivity between all the stakeholders. So these things, and the political pluralism, of course, is also mentioned there. So these things, people need to read them because it is a backbone. So if you want to do anything, you can disagree with many things, but don't disagree with the fundamental principles of the Constitution, because this is our backbone of Rwanda. Yes.
Thank you so much, Senator, for turning on our podcast. We appreciate everything we've talked about, and we believe so many people are going to learn from this. And we hope next time when we need you on a show, you will still show up.
Sure. I'm so happy that you invited me, and I'll be glad to come next time. Yeah.
So to our viewers, thank you so much once again for the time you've taken to watch this. And we believe you're going to watch it because it's very educative. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.